Your son isn't learning whether you got angry. Every man gets angry. He's learning what you do with it in the 1 second after it arrives. I'm going to tell you what that second cost me and what I do with it now. Not theory, not a Roman quote on a nice background. What actually works when the heat is already in your chest and your kid is standing right there. Stay with me. This one matters. Here's what nobody tells you about anger and fatherhood. The anger was never the problem. Every father who's ever lived has felt it. The heat climbing, the jaw setting, the sudden certainty that you're right and they need to hear it now. That's not a character flaw. That's a nervous system doing exactly what it evolved to do. The problem is the 1 second after. The second where the feeling arrives and you decide, without deciding, what to do with it. The shout, the slam, the word you'd give anything to pull back in. Your kids won't remember the anger itself. Every child sees their father angry. What they'll keep, what they'll carry into their own adult lives, into their own kitchens, with their own children 30 years from now, is what they watched you do in that 1 second. Because they're not just watching what happens, they're learning what a man does. This isn't a new problem. It might be the oldest one. 2,000 years ago, Seneca, advisor to emperors, one of the sharpest minds Rome ever produced, wrote an entire book about it. He called anger a brief madness. Not a mood, a madness, a temporary insanity that takes the wheel and drives your life into a wall in the few seconds you let it. And Seneca was right with that diagnosis. Anger is the one emotion that convinces you you're at your most powerful, at the exact moment you have the least control. But here's where even Seneca leaves you standing alone. He names the madness, he warns you about the second. He never quite tells you what to do when it hits, when you're not in a Roman study with a scroll, but in a small kitchen at the end of a long day, and your child has just done the one thing that lights the fuse. That's the gap I had to work out for myself, the hard way. I need to tell you something, because otherwise none of this is worth listening to. I've lost it with my own children. Not once, more than I'd like to put a number on. There was one evening, end of a hard day, everything piling up, and one of them did something small, genuinely small, and I heard my own voice come out louder and harder than they deserved. And I watched their face change. That's the part that stays with you. Not your own anger, their face. The way they went quiet, the way they got smaller. And then the house goes silent, and you're standing there, feeling like the worst father alive. If you felt this, I want you to hear this from someone who has stood exactly where you're standing. The guilt you feel is not weakness, it's proof you care. Bad fathers don't lie awake over this, you do. That already tells me something about the kind of man you're trying to be. But guilt on its own doesn't fix anything. What matters is what you do next. So let me tell you what I actually do now. There are two moments a father has to handle: the second before and the minutes after. Here's what I do with each. The second before, when the heat first hits, I've learned to catch it in my body before it reaches my mouth. The heat in the chest, the jaw, the hands. That's not the anger yet. That's the warning. That's the 1 second Seneca was talking about. So in that second, I do one thing. I make it longer. I take one breath before I say anything. I've even said to my kids, give me a second. Not as a threat, as the truth. Because a man who can put 1 second between the feeling and the words has already won the fight Seneca lost emperors over. But I don't always catch it. Nobody does. Some days the word is out before the breath. So here's the second thing, and this is the one that actually changed everything for me: the repair. When I get it wrong, and I still do, I go back. I don't disappear into my phone and let the silence do the punishing. I go to them, and I do 3 things. I own it. Not, sorry you got upset. I own what I did. I shouted, that wasn't okay. I apologize properly to their face. And then I explain the one thing every child needs to hear and almost never does: that it was never about them. That daddy was tired or stressed or carrying something that had nothing to do with you, and I let it out in the wrong direction. You didn't cause it, and you never deserved it. Because here's what that does. Your child doesn't just learn that fathers get angry. They learn that a man owns his mistakes, that love comes back, that a person can lose it and repair it. You're not just fixing tonight, you're teaching them how to be forgiven and how to forgive for the rest of their lives. That's the lesson. Not that you never fail, that you always come back. If this landed, if you're the kind of father who lies awake over this, I made something for you. It's a free 7-day journal. 7 days of short, practical prompts to help you build exactly this: the pause before and the repair after. No cost, no catch. The link's in the description and the pinned comment. I built it because I needed it myself, and because I'm writing a full 90-day version. But the 7 days will get you started tonight. Put your email in and I'll send it straight to you. And if you want more of these, and if you're trying to be a better father and you want the reminders, subscribe. That's it. That's the only thing I'll ask. Every man gets angry. That was never the question. The question is, what do you do with it? In that 1 second after it arrives. Now you know what I do. Go and be the man they'll remember. Strength, duty, legacy,